I was playing on an Instagram filter, got the stash, and Maddie was like, "Ooh, I like
This is
that."
what
So I'm
this is
growing
what
it out.
Danny's looking like to me right now. He looking a little Ted Lasso.
Yes, I decided to just leave the country altogether and run away from NYCFC.
Dottie put our sticker on his cup
I
when he
saw
was in
that.
Spain. That was dope as hell.
Yeah, that was cool.
Bro, we're
times.
international now, guys.
We're in
In
Spain.
Europe.
Welcome to the 20th episode of the City Boys Show. I'm Javier, and we got Danny and the Buzz. What is going on, guys?
What is going on?
How you guys
Good
been?
to be back.
It's been a minute.
It's been even longer for me, but I am also back, and it feels good to be back.
I like it. It's been too long. Danny with the new stash. What's going on here, Danny?
Bro, I don't know. I was playing on an Instagram filter, got the stash, and Maddie was like, "Ooh, I like that." So I'm
This is
growing
what
it
Danny's
out.
looking like to me right now. He looking a little Ted Lasso.
Yes.
too much apple for you, buddy.
It looks good. You should do that thing where, what is it, November or October, where they grow it for like charity?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
the
shave
No Shave November.
Yeah. This is
Guys,
like
That's
a
what I'm
practice
planning on
run.
doing it. Exactly.
But we're this episode we're gonna recap our loss against DC United. We just been losing nonstop since we stopped doing the show. Is it our fault? Could be. I don't know, but we've been on a whirlwind lately, and it's been brutal to watch. But we're gonna do that. What have you guys been up to in this little break that we've had?
Crying over NYCFC losses on my end. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. What about you? You're the one with the big news.
Yes, so I had a baby in this time off. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. It's been sleepless nights because of the baby, but sleepless nights because of NYCFC. It's been brutal to watch.
Yeah, I decided to just leave the country altogether and run away from NYCFC. I actually got to watch real soccer in Europe.
Hey. Do not disrespect MLS.
Sorry. I thought I was on mute there.
Wait, did you actually get to go to a soccer game while you're over there?
I didn't get to go, but the last week I was in Italy was the start of the Serie A League. So I got to watch a couple on TV. And, it's like religion in Italy. So everybody's watching it when the game's on.
Nice.
I like it.
I hope those games went better than our games.
They were 2-1 now. Yes, they're playing well.
All right, but let's get into our trashy play out there. So our offense just couldn't find opportunities. Let's get into the game. In the 24th minute, Ola Kamara comes out and hits a goal on us. It was like an easy shot for them. I don't. What do you guys make of that? Was he out of place, or what went wrong there? I guess.
I'll let you go first, Buzz.
Yeah, I mean, this is our defense completely not doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, that you're not supposed to have a shot that easy. Like you should have some type of defense, even if he was, seeing a shot that easy. You're like, it's like a FIFA game against us. Like that should not happen in real soccer.
Yeah, agree. I mean, Ole Kamara was running in and then no one was on him. Like, it wasn't that, like, someone couldn't catch up to him. It was just that he just ran through the defense and no one followed. And I just, our defense has been all over the place. We got Gray sometimes playing right back, sometimes playing center back now, which I think he's playing better in center back than he was as right back. But still, like, our defense has not been consistent with players and have not been consistent in play. And we just let an easy one go.
I felt like Gray has been playing well, but I think he may have been out of position on that particular goal. But it's tough when you have Martins out, you have Callens out, which is two of our main guys who've been on the defense, really been the back line this whole season. So to have two of those guys out, you could tell we keep making huge defensive mistakes. Let's go to the 27th minute. Hebed scores. it was a good shot. I thought it was good. I mean, everybody always says like, yeah, he gets his little shots. They're easy 10 feet shot. But I mean, he's still doing it, right? I mean, we needed a goal out of Haved. We obviously are missing a true striker out there.
Yeah, I heard some haters on Twitter being like, "Oh, it was a deflection. That's the only way he went in." Who cares? A goal's a goal, my guy. And you could tell that there was like a weight lifted off his shoulders after he scored that goal. He really needed it. I think the team really needed it. So it was a good goal. I'm excited for him. The rest of the game didn't go so great. So, it is what it is. But yeah.
I'll agree. A goal is a goal. And I do think sometimes like deflections like that, they seem to happen for goal scorers. They usually get that lucky bounce or that deflection, But something that Javi just mentioned a little while ago was about our defense not being the same defenders, missing Martins and missing Callens. I remember under a different coach, we had shuffled our defensive line like 15 times in the beginning of the season, yet we were still having clean sheets. So I think there might be more than just the players on the pitch. We'll get to that later, though.
No, I agree with you in that sense. So yeah, I think that goal, it was like once they made that goal, it was like, damn, like we are in bad shape. Habed brings life back to the team. We needed that at that moment. Habed needed that, like you said. It just brought a little bit back life. And then the second half happened. And I forget his name, Steven Birnbaum. I'm probably saying his name wrong. It was a beautiful cross to the goal, and he did a header, but he was left wide open. And this is what's just been happening: defensive mistake after defensive mistake, where we're constantly trying to play catch up. And DC United knew this at this point. They were playing defensive the whole game, so they were waiting to beat us on a counter or beat us on a set piece, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, also that team is like giants, bro. Like we've already have a short team, right? Our average of short team comes down because Maxi's the little genius. But every time they had a set piece, those guys were hovering over us. So I think it made it really hard. I hear, as per Ian Paul Joy, that they're really good on set pieces, but they are still the worst team in MLS. So I think no excuses. Sean Johnson should have had that save. At the same time, our defense really needs to step up because I felt like we didn't do anything to stop that shot. And I get if it was just like a height difference and he made it in, but that we had an ability to stop that corner and we didn't. So
yeah,
it's tough.
It was really tough to watch. And I think so. This is what Nick had to say. He kind of took ownership for how the game played out right there, and this is what he had to say.
As the head coach, it will be on me, and it is on me from day one, and I'm aware of that. I'm aware that in these difficult moments, it's my job to look at myself and see where I can contribute and where I can fix this problem, but also where reflection, and it's my job to pick the guys up. And like I say, I come out of a locker room where I see a group of guys and a team that is together, off and on the pitch, and that's coaching staff, team, and office staff. We're aware we're in a really difficult moment, but I think it's about consistently continuing to work hard, evaluate, reflect, and we will do that.
So to piggyback off that, does this team feel like it's together? Because I don't know. I feel like we saw that little bickering between Maxi and Santi a couple weeks ago. Is this team still united as they were prior to when we had Tati, when we had Ronnie Dyla? What do you guys think? Buzz is shaking your head for people listening on the podcast. Why are you shaking your head, Buzz?
No, I mean, we talked about this, and I give credit to the team. I give credit to the players because they immediately showed a united front. The second that Ronnie left, they did a really good job of rallying. I mean, I felt like over the top they went to defend Cushing and say good things about him, and I think the team tried. I really do. I think they tried to be united. I think they tried to continue the momentum, but it's not translating on the pitch. And you could see with these little, tiffs, if you will, they're not happy. They're not, and you can't expect it. You're the reigning champions right now, and you're playing horribly. You're losing 5 out of 6 games. it's natural for morale to be down, and it's going to translate that frustration onto the pitch with each other. But I think they did at least attempt in the beginning. I'm not sure if Cushing is helping that case, but right now I don't think we're playing as a true team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with Buzz. I think the team is suffering morale-wise, and it's one because of the losses, but I also put a bit of that blame on Nick Cushing. I've noticed that the team goes from let's win a championship to let's just play well, and you could tell that a lot of the players are like, I'm only here until I join Europe. And I think it comes from two places. I think, when you see your star player and your head coach who got you that championship leave to Europe, it's going to be hard to not think, why am I in MLS, right? And then we have Nick Cushing, which I think, from what I've seen the past few games, is that he's an X's and O's guys. I actually do like the strategy he has out there, but I don't know if he has the presence to boost that team's morale and go, let's get out of this funk that Ronnie has. And so, it sucks to still compare him to Ronnie because we've had so many games, but when we're losing, it's hard not to. And so I think Cushing's got to step up on that and get that team motivated because they just don't look motivated out there.
Yeah, well, it's a struggle for me because I don't think it's a lack of effort. I think they're still trying. It's not like they're going on the pitch and people aren't running full speed. Granted, Hebed is sometimes a little lazy, but I do think like it's more of injuries. We got to think about the injuries. We lost Parks, we lost Callens, we lost Thiago Martins. But even when some of our defenders were still there, we were still making those mental mistakes that we shouldn't. And I think when we talk about mistakes, mental mistakes or defensive positioning, that goes back to coaching. And I think that's where we're running into a problem because like when somebody makes a mistake in baseball, it's pointing at the manager when there's an error. Like, hey, you should be correcting this. This shouldn't be happening under your watch. And I think it's the same situation here. It's like these defensive mistakes shouldn't be happening, and they're happening every game consistently. There's only so many Sean Johnson saves we can have, and still we're going to be down a couple goals. So I think that's where we're struggling. If we look at our last 6 games, we're 1-5, and it's been tough. But it's so hard to pinpoint what exactly is the problem because we have so many of the same pieces. Do we think? I guess one of the things I was thinking is, all right, we know Hebed can be hot and cold, but Talles Magno, I think we expected more from, and we're not seeing that. Is he ready to step up?
You know how people were calling Talles Magno some magician thing, the magician or something?
Yeah.
Gonna start calling him Houdini, man, because the man's disappearing consistently. And I just don't understand what's going with Talles Magno. And I guess when I think of like motivation, and when I'm really talking about Santi and Talles Magno, because Talles Magno is completely not the same player he used to be. And I don't understand if it's because Tati just made him so much better because he brought some defense away from him and was able to distribute the ball. So Talles Magno could just focus on what he was good at. But now he's out there and he's completely disappearing during games. And Santi isn't disappearing. I think he's really active in games, but he's completely frustrated all the time, yelling at everyone, getting yellow cards at everyone. And I don't think that helps morale. And I don't know why he's not put in check and go, yo, you need to chill out. Like, you're one of the leaders of the team. You got to control that temper.
Well, it looks like that's what Maxi was trying to do a couple of weeks ago, right? Put him in his place and be like, hey, you need to stop barking at people and play a team game, which is what his soccer is.
Yeah, but Cushing needs to do that too, man. And needs to blow up his spot in the press conference. Yo, Santi's, first of all, he's not always there. And then, he's not, for a while, he was playing pretty bad. And he was like, no, Santi's been playing great, which was a lie. And I've noticed now that Cushing has a tendency of lying during press conferences. But on top of that, say your boy's not being a team player, we got to get him straight because that doesn't help the team chemistry.
I know I've been gone for a while, but everything Danny just said, I said months ago. Okay? I told you I don't know how Cushing could come out. We were all in that conference room together. And Cushing is saying, Santi's unbelievable. And Danny buys it. Danny's like, oh, yeah, maybe it's not as bad as I thought because Cushing said it. No, it's, Danny, I really think it's the first thing you said. I think that this underscores truly one of the importance that Tati had on our team. You have to focus. No matter who you are on that pitch, you need to know where Tati is at all times. And if you're focusing on Tati, a guy like Magno, who I think is uber talented, and I think he's going to have a great career, has that more flexibility. He has that freedom to run a little bit more because they're concentrating on Tati. I'm not saying it's Jordan and Pippen, but Jordan and Pippen aren't the same without each other. That was a really good dynamic duo, and I think that with Tati being gone and no true goal scorer, they could focus more on Magno.
But is Magno a true goal scorer? I guess that's the
No.
question, because yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because we have him slotted sometimes at the number 9, but he doesn't look natural there. He moves way too close to get the ball in to then distribute to someone else, and we need somebody to be that true scorer.
Javi, he's not a goal scorer, and that is why when we lost Tati, I said we need a number 9. Danny's telling me about Heber is going to have some, resurgence in life. He's going to score 500 goals, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, I said we could move Tallis there. I don't want it. Tallis is a playmaker. He needs that ball. Once the defense collapses on him, he will find the open guy. But to ask him to just score goals when his natural instinct, like you said, Javi, is to come back and get that ball, he's not going to be successful.
No, I agree. And I think one person that could step it up is Thiago. Thiago's got the speed. I think he can score. I honestly think he's a goal scorer as well. But Thiago, sometimes he's too fast for the players, and I feel like they don't dish him the right ball when he needs to be dished it at a certain part. But I think Thiago could be the one to step it up. And one person who has been stepping it up is Perea. Perea's got like every time he scores, it's a nasty goal. It's not just a chip. Like, it's from outside of the box, and it's deadly. And that's one thing that I think we're missing also, is scoring outside of the box. We need somebody to be deadly out there. And that's one thing I think we're missing with Keaton Parks. Anytime Keaton Parks was in the middle and outside of the box, it drew defenders in, which then gives us space inside of the box. And I think without Keaton Parks, we don't have that deadly goal scorer outside of the box that we can rely on. Even though Zalelem did have actually a really nice shot last week towards the end of the game that could have been a goal. But what did you guys think of that new guy start, Pellegrini?
The guy from Miami, right?
Yeah, from Inter Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say anything special. I mean, if he was just released, I don't think I was expecting special, but serviceable from what I saw so far.
Danny?
Agreed. I think the sample size was too small. I like that he brought some speed. He brought some intensity, but he didn't have much time out there to do much. I thought it was a good attempt to try to take that shot at the end to save the game, but it wasn't enough. But I want to focus back on that. I think we have on your point on Keaton Parks being out, and Zalelem going for that shot. I was really big hater on Zalelem because I just thought defensively he put us in a bad situation. If you remember, he gave us that red card last year, which really put us in a bad situation. And so I didn't like Zalelem. Love that Hack's been playing. But after seeing Zalelem's play, I was like, this guy is an offensive. He can distribute the ball really well. Maybe he needs more minutes. What do you guys think?
Well, I forgot which game we were at, but I was saying something probably not positive about him. And I think it was Javi or maybe it was you, Danny. I never give you enough credit. But somebody had mentioned like he was at like a big English team, right?
Yeah,
like
he played for Arsenal, or I don't know if he played for the starting squad or it was just he made the practice squad or whatever.
But he was like on their like training or something like that, right? He was going to be like, so there had to be something at least at some point in his career where he showed some, skill. Mm-hmm. I've never seen it, but then again, how much could he show if he's coming on for 15 minutes or 10 minutes like he did in the past? And it seemed like he only played in the beginning of the season when we had like nobody to play. You remember when we were like so decimated? Yeah. So I'm willing to see more. Listen, if we're going to go 1-5 in our last 6, I'm willing to look at anybody at this point because whatever we're doing and whatever we're putting out there is not working right now.
Yeah, and actually Twitter was saying, hey, you should put Zalelem. Like, I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that. Talking about Twitter, this was kind of their reactions towards what happened this game. It was brutal. People were upset, and rightfully so. So MLS Aces says, guys, I'm getting ready I'm getting really close to Cushing out. I know some of you are there already, but this is some ugly ass soccer. It's a rough one. We got OZOM77 saying your name wrong, but it's okay. Tati carried the club is sad, but is really one win in the last 6 without him. Also, the coach is not much help. Then we got Coach Joe. He's been very vocal out there.
I like this guy.
If NYCFC lose this match, Nick Cushing should be relieved of his duties in the morning. And we did lose that match, but Nick Cushing is still the head coach, well, the interim head coach. Anthony Buckley 3Y, he says, Cushing has destroyed this club, hashtag NYCFC. And then lastly, Blue City Radio said this was one of the worst NYCFC games I've seen in a long time. It's about the opponent being bottom of the league. It's about the coach's decision before, during, and after the game. He's ultimately the leader. He can change it. Sunday might be his last chance. Guys, so what do we make of this? These
so something I want to first of all, that was rough. I can tell the fans are frustrated. Also, Mike, when he asked that, that clip you played earlier, that came from a question where, we were pretty much, people were asking Cushing without asking Cushing, like, what's the problem? And he blamed it on injuries mostly and inconsistency. And then Mike went out there and said from Blue City Radio, when are you going to put the blame on you? And it was a very blunt question. It hurt my heart listening to it. And then that's when Cushing gave that response. But I like to mention that on one of those tweets that you had up there, Julie on the mic, who appreciate her because she likes all our tweets, wrote, it's also the front office's part. And I think that's something that a lot of people are debating right now. Is it, yes, Cushing's to blame, but how much of it is Cushing versus the front office for not replacing Tati when they knew they were going to let Tati go in mid-year? What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, what it makes it sound like is they thought we had enough talent on this squad to not need a replacement for Tati.
Yep.
And it just wasn't true. I think we've come to the realization that it's not true. We don't have a true striker. And I think we were all banking on Habib still being the guy from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But unfortunately, it's not the case.
I was not, Javi. I never did and never was. I was not banking on him. I like him as a person. I like him as a teammate. When we've seen him, he seems like a really nice guy. There's no knock on Habib from me, other than he's not the same player. Injuries have changed a lot of really good players' careers. So it's not a knock on him. I think he's doing his best. But I never thought that case. I do 100% agree with that first part, though. As a team overall, I remember early on in the season, the three of us are sitting there like, when can we play this guy? Like, we have so much depth on the bench. We're not even playing this guy. He could come in. I think we do have depth everywhere but in attack. And unfortunately, that's what we need right now. I do feel like once our defense comes back healthy, they'll make up for some of it. But it doesn't matter if we can't score goals, and we're not scoring enough goals.
Yeah, one thing I will say is, though, we keep harping on our offense needs to be better. Our offense needs to be better. But we've scored in every game in these last 6 games. Once, twice. I know it's not been enough because we've been losing still every game, but we have been scoring. So my whole thing is defensively, we're just atrocious. And we're always playing from behind. So it's like it becomes harder to score goals when you're always playing from behind.
That's true.
But question, guys, if you got to think about the front office situation, right? The way I think a good way to see whether it's the front office's fault or the head coach's fault, these past 6 games, Tati's still gone, but Ronnie's still in. Do you think we would have had a better record in these past 6 games?
100%. Sorry, Javi, but yes. I mean, that's not even a question. That's a yes.
But what does he do differently that Cushing's not doing?
I mean, first of all, I think what we don't see is what happens in the locker room. And I think the team comes out onto the pitch different now than they did when Ronnie was there. Okay? And then I've spoke about this on the podcast before, the energy. Like Ronnie, if you're not doing something, Ronnie lets you know about it. You feel his energy. You feel like it almost like brings me back to being a kid and my dad yelling at me. Like I want to, all right, I'm going to stop. I gotta change this. And it's cool to have different personalities, but I think Ronnie's on our team was a much better personality that motivated our players much better than Cushing is doing.
Yeah, and when we called, I think one of the issues I'm still having, and this goes back to front office, is the intensity of the fans and us playing at Red Bull Arena. If you looked at that game yesterday, not yesterday, it was a couple days ago, the Red Bull against DC United, it was an empty crowd. You can't feel that intensity and that atmosphere when it's an 8 o'clock game in New Jersey, when most of the fan base is in New York and wants to be in the 5 boroughs. These things matter and they're impacting the games. And it kind of felt this same feeling last year around the same time. It was like a Red Bull game. It was dead. And it felt like the season was done for. And then we went on to win the championship. So hopefully we have that same thing happen this year. But I think those games that we play at Red Bull that are late and people aren't really ready to trek out, it affects the players because there's not that intensity you get at Yankee Stadium. It's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah. I agree with that as well. I think there's so many things. Javi, I don't think we're winning a championship this year. And I wish we did, but I don't feel it. Early on in the season, I was like, yeah, 2 in a row. Like, we could do it. We have all of this stuff in place. I think we did in the beginning of the season, had in the back of our mind that Tati was most likely leaving. We did get those rumors about Ronnie, so I think we were mentally preparing ourselves for it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of, just so you know, I'm not a fan of Cushing, but I'm not a fan of him being removed before the season either. I think he's been with the team. He tries to do right. He says some of the really good things. I don't mind if we just let him stay for the rest of the season, but there's no way he's our head coach next year.
If we lose Sunday, I know Blue City Radio might have said that he might be gone. I mean, that's just, I think, their opinion, but is there any possibility that he leaves before the end of the season? Do we think?
I think there's a possibility. I mean, do you think anybody's going to come in and be able to turn this around by the end of the season?
Can we get Ronnie back?
It's funny. After that loss, I was like, I wonder how Ronnie's doing at Standard Liège, to see if he's going to lose his job soon so he could come back.
How's he doing?
Yeah, 1-2 from what I saw. So it's still early on. I think I put more of the onus on the front office versus Cushing. And I hate to keep defending Cushing, but I just don't know when you lose your star striker, you've lost your star defender Callens, you've lost Keaton Parks, you've lost Martins, you got Gray playing in center back, which he hasn't played in 10 years since he was 12 years old in center back. It's just so many moving parts, right? Cushing can't decide where we play our games either, right? He's going to choose Red Bull Arena. So I just put so much on that, I think, on the front office that I think the front office is more to blame. So if I had to split the blame, I'd say, 60% front office, 40% the coach. But I just don't know if Ronnie really could have done a huge difference. I honestly, and I could be wrong on this, I do think that Ronnie brought more defense, but I think Cushing's been on this team for years, and I think Cushing helps bring the strategy to the team when Ronnie was here. So I don't think we lost that many brains when Ronnie left. I think what we lost is the motivation, and I agree. But it's hard to motivate the team when first you came in halfway through the season and you're on a losing streak and you lose your star player. So I'm hoping Cushing can turn it around. I still haven't given up that we can win the championship. Although I understand it's very unlikely, I still believe in them.
Listen, can we get hot? Yes, I think our team could get hot. We have enough players on our team that we could make a run. But I think it's unlikely. But I would love that to happen. And if we could get something, just a spark, something to get the team going in the right direction, then we could build on it. 1 game, 2 games, 3 games. But as of right now, I'm not overly confident in anything that we could do from now to the end of the season.
Yeah, and if you look at the tables, we're fourth in the division, Eastern Conference. Red Bulls got over us. There's no way we're catching up to Philadelphia Union at this point. So I mean, we have to stay on this top four. And if we look at our next opponent, which is New England, they have 35 points. We have 45, but they're ninth and they're vying for a playoff position. So this is a big game for them. And I think they really care about this next game, and it's going to be really impactful to their playoff run. So it's gonna be a close one, and this game has to be one of those games we take very serious, because if we keep getting out, I mean, let's say Columbus wins and Orlando win, we're 6 on this chart, and to think about us not making the playoffs, I don't think it's gonna happen, but that would be a colossal fail. Just if you looked at the start of the season, how well we were, like it just wouldn't, it would be fathomable if we can't make the playoffs. That would be just so bad for the team.
And let me ask Danny, if you're putting the blame on the front office, you were a fan of not signing a big name, right? To replace Tati. So what else could they have done? I mean, the injuries happened mid-season, right? Like what could they have done differently? I guess the front.
No, I think I was wrong about Javi, and I think they should know that better than me, right?
Hold on. I didn't record that. Can you say that again, Javi?
I don't think Javi has stepped up. Yeah, I don't think Javi has stepped up where he should have. And I understand it's hard for him. He hasn't a lot of minutes. He's now kind of getting the minutes, but I also think it might be an age thing. Like, I think Tati brought a lot of pressure, and you can tell that he can't seem to play the full 90 minutes. He can't seem to run a lot. And so I think age is caught up to him, and he's just not the same Javi. So I think it was hopeful thinking. I think he could still be serviceable, but I think he is nowhere near the level that Tati was. And I think they should have signed someone there. And I think the Pellegrini sign seemed really desperate. I think they realized that they should have done something.
Yep.
And they go, okay, let's pick up this dude and hopefully something works out, because it was just out of nowhere.
That's exactly what happened. They're like, if we don't do anything, people are going to say we didn't do anything. So they're like, oh, let's grab anybody we can. And like, we'll show them that we're still paying attention to the team.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh, he was a DP somewhere. So that means, he has to be good. So I don't know. We'll see.
Let's look into the starting lineup. This is who I think is gonna start against New England Revolution. I got Sean Johnson, Tinnerholm if he's back. Tinnerholm got banged up and got subbed out last game. Gray at center back again. Chanot, Amundsen, Perea, Acevedo, Maxi, Santi, Magno, and Hebed. What do you guys think?
I think this makes me so sad.
I mean, I do love Gray at center. I think that prevents him from having to try to cross the ball, so that's always nice. One of the things that I think he struggled with. No Alfredo.
Well, he was banged up. That's why he didn't get to go. Wait, was he banged up, or did he have yellow card accumulation? Now I forget.
Hold on.
No, I think he was banged up.
So I don't know if he's gonna be fully healthy for the next one, but
okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If he's back, I would wait. Then do you take out Santi, or do you take out Perea and put Maxi at the 10?
No, I put Maxi at the 10.
And then where does Santi go?
Then I would move Santi. How about we take Perea and just get rid of Heber? How about that?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Perea's only good with 1 foot though. So he gets the wrong angle, and that dude's not making a shot.
I mean, I would love to see him more. I mean, you're right. He is dominant on that one leg, but
yeah,
I think he has that energy. At least he's gonna run. At least he's gonna offer up 90 minutes.
I will say it's something we haven't done, and let's do something we haven't done at this point, right?
Yeah.
Because what we have done isn't working for the last 6 games.
Yeah.
I got to say, though, I don't know. I'm really struggling with that, too. So, like, an example, last year, we had the same thing with Ronnie, right? We were struggling. We couldn't score a goal. And people were so upset that Ronnie made 0 changes. You remember that? That was like his whole thing. The guy doesn't sub anyone out. I think we lost this guy for a second, but hopefully he's back. He was like, he always stuck to the plan, even though people were frustrated that he didn't leave the plan. And I'm wondering, it is September. We got a few more games left in the season. Is it really time to experiment? Just keep your best players out there and ride it out. I don't know if it's time to be experimenting with such little time left in the season before the playoffs.
What I'm saying though, Danny, is Hebert is not one of our best players.
No, agree. But then that's
Okay,
so
but
tough for me to say.
you make no change, and you say I'm gonna do what I've been doing the last 6 games. First, we don't make it to the playoff. Second, we get knocked out in the first round. So you got to change something. It's not working. And I get what you're saying. Like it wasn't working last year, but then it just somehow magically worked. But
But how do you build fluidity? How do you build chemistry if you have a different lineup every single game? But I'm saying, if the goal is to keep Magno on the 9th, then keep him on the 9th. For a little while, he was doing Magno on the 9th, and then Andrade on the left, Pereira on the right, Santi in the middle, and Morales here. Why not just fine? Like, ride it out, see if it works until the rest of the season versus every day changing your lineup.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that part. I mean, although I don't think that's his best position, I don't think that's where he should be. But if we're going to do that and you want that fluidity with those players, then I'm okay with putting him at the 9. I don't think that's his best position, but fine. I'm okay with that. But I think that we've shown we could win with different lineups. We did it the first half of the season. We could do that.
Yeah. It's yeah. I think it's going to be challenging, and we have to figure something out, and we have to figure it out fast. Betting with Buzz. We've been very somber this episode. Give me something exciting. Give me something to cheer me up. I want to put a couple shekels on something. Just give me something, bro.
There's always something to be happy about when NYCFC is plus money, okay?
Very true.
So we're coming off of 1-5 in our last 6. Vegas does not like us right now. They do not respect
I don't like it right now. I've been losing some cha-ching on it.
Yeah, I got to see how Danny's been doing. I don't know how Danny's been doing when he takes NYCFC.
Luckily, I've been out of the game. I don't like betting unless we're doing podcasts, and I'm getting my betting with Buzz prediction.
All right, I respect that. I like that. So this week we have NYCFC at plus 180. They have plus 260 for the draw and plus 115 for the losers. We know that we're not taking the Revolution, and we're not going to draw. We're gonna get back on track. We're going to do what we do every episode, except for the ones I didn't do, which were great because we lost every one of them, is that we're going to take NYCFC to win, take the plus 180, and then we're going to reverse course, okay? This is not going to be a overnight fix. We're not going to just, start scoring a lot of goals and having clean sheets again. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a low-scoring game. So we're going to do the under 2.5 goals, which is plus money as well. So that's plus 126. And they're going to win 2-0 NYCFC. Oh, I was supposed to get that prediction. Later.
It's okay. That gets us into our next segment. All right, Buzz, we know your goal prediction. 2-1. Yes. You got the boys winning. Who scores?
Ooh. Wow, good question. It depends. Does Hebert play? Because if Hebert plays, then he won't score.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm gonna go with Santi and Tallis 2-0 NYCFC. Let's go.
Okay, Danny.
I think our defense is still really tough plays. That dude Bo always scores on us, and NYCFC
He just got back recently, so he's a little rusty, according to Bruce Arena. And just to follow up, Bruce Arena, we're finally playing at your stadium, so I hope we beat you because you were complaining about Yankee Stadium last time we played.
But I think. Sorry.
Go. I was just gonna say, didn't that guy score 2 goals last time, Danny? You predicted he was gonna score a goal.
Oh yeah, I think
that guy Bo.
I did.
Sure
I did. He did. So I know he's rusty. I don't know why, but we always have these really tough games against New England. So I'm hoping we win because I think this is a must-win situation for the team. If we can't win this game, I'm really scared that we might not make the playoffs. So I say we win the game, but I think it's going to be over 2.5. So I'm going to say 2-1 NYCFC.
Okay. You went with the must win. Those are always questionable because a must win is usually last game. You literally must win to get into the playoffs. But a little early, but I'll give it to you. I'm gonna go 3-2 high scoring game. Defensively,
Wow.
we're just not there, but the boys will pull through. I don't know who'll score 3 goals. I'm thinking Chanel might just do another banger from outside of the box. This guy's deadly.
He tried one last game. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah. He was like, if nobody's going to score, I'm going to try again. So 3-2, boys win. Chanel gets crazy.
Like it.
Guys, if you like the show, please like, comment, subscribe. Guys, any final words?
Guys, I think we're going to win the championship. Buzz said he proclaimed we're not going to win it. Definitely not going to win it. Anytime he makes a hard claim like that, the world's going to reverse. We're winning the championship, boys. Let's get that second ring.
You know what? Danny's right about my hot takes. So I might say that every episode until we win the championship again. But I'm very happy. I think we're all going to be back on Wednesday, right?
Yes, we'll be back in the stadium September 7th. It's good to be back, boys. I missed you guys.
I missed you guys too, but hopefully the baby could spend a few hours without you, Javi.
Yeah, and just a final word, because we didn't talk about this because it's been a while. Dati put our sticker on his cup when he was in Spain. That was dope as hell.
Yeah, that was cool.
Bro, we're international now, guys.
Yeah, we're in Spain.
In Europe.
All right, guys. It's been real. Later, y'all.
Peace.